So he is a 5-time Paralympic medalist, and he also just so happens to be a double amputee. His name is Rudy Garcia-Tolson. He's the first child that the Challenged Athletes Foundation worked with when he was just about 8 years old. If you don't know what the foundation is, oh, stick around, we're going to let you know. So with me now to share his story, Rudy himself, and then co-founder of the Challenged Athletes Foundation, Bob Babbitt.
So good to be here again.
I know you guys were just here yesterday. We're like, please bring him back in. We love you guys, apparently.
You guys have been so supportive.
Well, I mean, you have such a great foundation, and we're going to get to that in a second. But I kind of want to start with Rudy's story, because I've been reading up on you and watching all these videos, and you just have an incredible story. You've achieved so much.
Yeah, thank you. No, I'm happy to be here back in San Diego. Yeah. And as you mentioned, I was the first kid that the Challenged Athletes Foundation ever worked with. I was about 8 years old. And being an 8-year-old and being a double amputee, you don't really see too many other people who are like you. So, you know, one thing that the Challenged Athletes Foundation brought to me at a young age was it showed me that there were other people who were challenged like me. I wasn't alone, you know, and representation in this case was very powerful for me. And I was able to meet other kids who are like me and other adults who are like me. And we all shared a similar bond. You know, we've all gone through hard times, but we never let our challenge or our disability make us who we are. We all live by a motto, and that is, you know, the real disability is a negative attitude. It has nothing to do with what you see here. So, you know, I've been able to be a part of the foundation for over 20 years now. Now I am a mentor to the younger generation of kids growing up. So it's such a cool experience for me. And like I said, I'm now an employee at CAF. So
it went full circle.
Yeah.
You weren't about to let him escape, were you? You're like, you're not going anywhere, buddy.
You've been to fun, yeah.
Two things that I wanted to say. One, I think, you know, you hit on representation. It's so important. I think we take for granted, like we see people that look like us all the time. But as a child growing up and not seeing that, was that hard for you?
It was very hard for me. You know, when I was growing up, I went to a public school. I have brothers and sisters. I'm the youngest in my family. But, you know, all through elementary school and almost through high school, I grew up not ever meeting anybody who was like me. And so, you know, for me to relate to a professional football or basketball player, I just couldn't find anything that we had in common. But if you introduced me to Sarah Reinertson or Willie Stewart or Jim McLaren, I would be able to connect with these guys because we all had challenges. But we never let these challenges, you know, make us who we are, and that's what CAF is all about.
Do you remember, Bob, when you first met him when he was 8 years old?
Actually, I met him earlier. I met him right after he had his legs amputated when he was 6.
Yeah.
And we actually honored him. I used to have this Competitor Endurance Sports Awards banquet, and we honored Rudy when he was 8 years old as our Challenged Athlete of the Year because he was on a relay team where I think he swam 50 yards.
Yes.
He swam 50 yards on a relay team and became our Challenged Athlete of the Year. Yeah, just watching him. And the deal is he's become the Pied Piper. So many kids out there, and adults as well, they'll sit back and they'll go, oh, I really can't do anything. And then they watch a kid who was told, you will never run a sub-6 minute mile. You will never be an athlete. And, you know, he's really, sort of an athlete.
I don't know if this at some point sounds cliche to you, but I think you do help so many people because, you know, we all have rough days, but then we see someone like you who it's not that it's worse off, but it's a little bit, you have to work a little bit harder, right?
Absolutely. You know, we all have our challenges. We all have good days and bad days. You know, there are days where I don't want to put my legs on, but I have to because that's how I get out the door. But, you know, for all of us, we all have our challenges, you know, day in and day out. And I believe that if by me being out doing sports, going surfing at the beach, if I can motivate and inspire one person to maybe think, you know what, if that guy can do it, then why can't I? Then that's inspiration and that's powerful. And I think that the world needs a lot of inspiration right now. So if myself and other athletes like me can provide a little bit of inspiration and motivation and something to look forward to, then we're all for it.
Can I ask, and I'm sure people at home want to know too, when you're having one of those days where you're like, I don't want to put them on, I don't want to do anything, I kind of want to sulk a bit, how do you get out of that?
You know, for me, I have a motto that I love and I live by, and that is a brave heart is a powerful weapon. And for me, I take that motto and I use that that, especially on days when I'm not feeling the best, when I feel like I don't want to put my legs on. But at the same time, I always think how blessed I am that I actually have a pair of legs to put on.
Yeah.
They might not look the same as yours, but they work just as well. So
I love that. Yeah, you're blessed to have it, right?
That's it.
I could talk to you forever, but unfortunately we can't. They won't let me. Bob, can we talk about the foundation, quickly, and how people can help and what you guys have coming up?
Well, we have a couple things going on. We have our San Diego Triathlon Challenge, our community challenge weekend coming up October 22nd and 23rd. The triathlon is on the 23rd. And then September 1st just opened up grant season. Last year we sent out 3,256 grants totaling $6.2 million to buy. These are $15,000 leg.
Whoa.
Yeah.
These are my running legs. So
really?
I'll bolt these on when I want to go run.
Got it.
And yeah, these right here are what we use to get out the door, to get to the starting line and then the finish line.
Okay. Wow.
And that equipment's not covered by insurance, so that's why it's so
Really?
important. No, none of it's covered by insurance. So
Well,
if somebody
that's a
wants
whole other.
totally other thing, but that's
my
really why we
gosh.
started the foundation. We found out that anything to do with sports is considered a luxury item by
Oh,
insurance
okay.
companies. Yeah,
Sure.
and we all know how important sport is.
No. Oh my gosh. I mean, just for your mental and physical well-being,
Absolutely.
especially
Absolutely.
mental well-being.
Absolutely.
Is there anything you guys wanted to say before we go?
Well, just thank you for all the support, and if there's any viewers out there watching who might know somebody who can use the support, Challenge Athletes Foundation, start challengeathletes.org.
Exactly. Reach out.
Challengeathletes.org.
Yeah,
There it is.
love
Thank you
it.
guys
Thank you so much.
Rudy and Bob. I'm sure we'll have you back again, just because we need that ongoing inspiration. You guys are both such a
Thank
huge
you.
source of that. So
Thank
thank
you so much.
guys.